I'm here.
Hi everybody. Yeah,
I'm here.
hello. Yeah, I was just trying to see who's there a little bit, just to see your faces, to connect a little bit with you. Many of the videos seem to be, hey, yes, wonderful, wonderful. So, hey everybody. Wow, I see faces now. Hi, San. Hi, guys. Jessica, Natalie, Negin, Michelle, lots of people. Hey, look, new faces, wonderful. Hey, great, great. Yes, it becomes, I don't know, if I see you guys, it's more like we're having a conversation, don't we? Wonderful. So because we don't have a lot of time, I'll just get to it, right? And I have a question for you. Do you think there are jobs for boys and jobs for girls? The reason I wanted to see you is because I want you to show me this, if you believe this is true, that if you believe this is not true. Do you think there are jobs specific, that jobs are gender specific, that there are jobs for girls and jobs for boys? Believe it or don't believe it? Don't believe it? Someone else? Jessica, what do you think? This is like between, like Kyle, this is like neither this, neither that. You mean you're so-so, you're not sure, right? Yes. So everyone shows, the ones I see show that. Wonderful. This is why I love Generation Z. You guys have got it all. But not all of us, unfortunately, are so clear about that. And my generation, which is Generation X, still has biases. But let me tell you a story. When I was your age, back in my high school years, I loved chemistry. I really loved it and I was good at. And there was this national contest coming up. And I went to my chemistry teacher, which was a male, and I said, I want to be part of that national contest. And he's like, well, you see, you have to work so very hard. You probably have to work in weekends. I don't know if it's a good idea. And I was like, but I want to work weekends. I want to work. And like, yeah, I don't know. But you see, there was just 3 places for our school to participate in a national contest, and he wanted to take my male colleagues, the boys. But I so insisted that he ended up saying, okay, you can join the trainings. For 4 months, I trained like crazy. I wanted to show him and myself that I can do it. And after 4 months, we had a trial test to see if we can, which one of us would go. And believe it or not, I was the one that got the best marks. So needless to say, my teacher had to say, okay, let's go to national contest then. And then I went to the national contest, and we were, from our city, we were 10 people, only 1 girl, me, and 9 boys. And I got the 2nd prize of the national team. And believe it or not, the 1st prize was another girl. I became after that the pride of my teacher, the pride of my school, the pride of my city, but most importantly, I showed to myself that I could do it, because I started to integrate myself, the idea that maybe I'm not as good as the boys. And that leads me to another question for you. And this is just for the girls that I see. Do you girls think that you are good in mathematics and sciences? If you think you're good, show me this. Girls, are you good in mathematics? Wonderful. Now a question for the boys. Boys, do you think girls are good in sciences and mathematics? Kyle says yes. San says yes. Mohammed says yes. Wonderful. Again, you Z generation, we have so much to learn from you. And learning, that's the point. How do we learn? Why do I tell you this story? It's because we learn by doing things, by experimenting things, you know, and then once you pass a gap, an experience, you're like, oh, I can do that. You build confidence, you grow. But there is another way to learn, and that is by watching others, learning from other people's experiences. And then I have another question now for you. Can you think of a person that you like, you admire, like really say, wow, I would love to be that person? Please think about it. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Think of a person that you really admire. Don't be gender biased, huh? Girls, you can choose a man. Boys, you can choose a girl, a lady. Think about someone that will be a role model for you, someone that you say, wow, I would love to be that person or like that person. And please write it down. Just a minute for that, not even. Think of a person that really could play this role model for you. I'll tell you mine after. Is there someone that we that would like to share with us? Is there a possibility, Marcello, that participants can unmute and talk?
For sure. There are a couple of tools you can ask them to do reactions, like, you know, clapping or doing the hand up. And even the ones that are not on video, then you can use those two options to say, hey, clap if you agree and hand thumbs up if you don't. But you know, you're free to ask them anything you want.
Wonderful. I saw Kyle saying that, so I think Kyle wanted to, you want to share with us your role model? Wonderful. Can we?
No, I actually wanted to talk about gender roles, and in the sense, it's like, I believe that anyone can do any job, but inevitably there's still going to be some jobs because of physical limitations will be limited only to like men and women, right? Because, for example, it's much more likely if you're a construction worker that it's better for a man, right? Because men are naturally stronger. And then if you want to be a babysitter, then people are more likely to trust a female babysitter than a male babysitter. Those kinds of things now are still around nowadays. So there's still inevitably going to be specifically male and female jobs, right?
You know, it's interesting that you say that, Kyle, because biology has been let's say, an excuse for centuries, for millennials, that women can't do certain jobs. And I'll tell you something. I am now running, as Marcello was saying, I'm running a charity here in Switzerland that brings role models into schools to talk to children about jobs. And I have firefighter women. And every time they go to school, boys ask them, hey, but this is a job for boys. I mean, all this equipment is very heavy. You can't be wearing that. And you know what they're doing, my girls, my firefighters? They put all the things on them, equipment and you know, yes, there's lots of equipment that they have. And they start jumping up and down with them and say, well, look, I can do it. I can even dance with it. So I do agree with you that for some jobs, maybe physical strength is, but nowadays it becomes much and less the case, because most things can be done not with physical force. So, but believe it or not, the beliefs stay, and I'm happy that you said that, because I can come back to you and say it's not anymore the case. Most jobs can be done physically by women and men. Do you think that is correct?
Yeah, I always agreed with that. I just thought that, you know, I feel bad that there's still some physical limitation even today.
Can you give me an example of that?
Well, it's because I believe that eventually, like, for example, construction work will probably be done by robots, maybe, and then afterwards there won't need to be construction workers in the first place. So strength doesn't matter anymore. I guess all the construction workers will just use robots to do their things. So maybe in the future there'll be even more gender equality when it comes to workplace.
Well, I certainly hope so, Kyle, because this is my mission now. Through MOD-ELLE, I'm trying, because Switzerland is very conservative in education. Girls and boys are very gender segregated in terms of how they choose their jobs. So I do hope, and I count on you guys. I really count on you to lead the way. We have so much to learn from you. And one of the people I admire greatly these days is Greta Thunberg. You obviously all know her. I saw her in Davos. She's so tiny, but extremely powerful kid. I mean, she's mobilized over 7 million kids all over the world to work with her. I mean, how impressive is that? So I really count on you. Thank you for your intervention, Kyle, because it is, there are a lot of deconstruction to be done of these myths about what can women do and what can't men do. You also mentioned nursing. Why would you think a male can't do nursing? Are men caring enough?
Not nursing. I meant like babysitting. Like, for example,
why would the men not do babysitting? Men are fathers as well, aren't they? No, I'm challenging you. Huh? I'm not because you took
that. You know, it's that there's still gender bias nowadays, especially when it comes to that sort of thing. So, I mean, in Singapore, for example, most of the maids around here, I mean, like almost all of the maids around here are female and I'm wondering why. Is there a problem with Indonesian men coming over to be maids? And I guess some people aren't comfortable with that. So it's still an issue, I suppose.
It is, Kyle, and it's not a question. It's social also norms. The social norms that have been going on for over 2 million years, and they became so ingrained that people think these are natural. Women are naturally soft and caring, and men are naturally warriors. These are just social constructs that we can and we should fight, because there's not a case. I know a lot of men here in Switzerland, young men that do babysitting, and they do work. They work in primary care, like with the how do you call that, kindergartens, but they're still looked by their own peers, male peers, like, you're like, you're not good enough, you're like a girl. We have these deconstructions to do. I do believe so. And everywhere on the globe, I participated in 2017 in the international survey that showed that gender stereotypes affect children from everywhere, from China to Venezuela, and they start to crystallize as of the age of 6. So each of you is bombarding from very early age with images that create your gender norm, gender role. So fight that, my dear young friends, fight that and be aware of this, because there are biases. There is nothing natural about that. There are social constructs that are so ancient, they don't apply today anymore. Is there someone else that would like to share I don't know, a role model or an opinion or something or a question there about the role models and gender stereotypes? I see beautiful faces there. Don't be shy. You don't have to. I'm just wondering. If not, I go on and feel free to stop me. We only have few minutes to talk, so I can go on. But let's think about how do you learn? By emulating people. So this is the reason why as a child, we emulate our parents. And gender biases also come from, our first role models are our parents, but all of us have gender biases because of what we just talked. They come with the territory almost. So it's not a problem to be that per se. It is something that we can fight against. And how do you fight against it? By learning, by seeing, watching, talking about this, talking with your peers, talking with, I don't know, teachers in school, asking questions about how the world, and talking about how you would see the world in the future. What is it there for you? I already saw, and I asked you about your gender. So you don't have this gender biases, or at least not consciously. But when we started talking and Kyle expressing, you realized that you are aware that the society does have them. So what can you do as future leaders? What can you do to change that? Is about speaking up, talking with people. There's someone there, talking with people that seem to have that have embraced this stereotypes, and talking freely, openly with them about it. Do you think this is okay? Addressing gender stereotypes is gender equality is one of the UN SDGs. Everyone knows about the SDGs, right? Yes. So it's SDG number 5. It's extremely important. I made it my own mission, and as I said, I count on you. I wanted we're getting closer to the end. I wanted to give you a joke to end it on a funny note. There was this spirit coming to a man and say, "You've been so good. I want to do something for you. You can be smart, you can be rich, or you can be beautiful. Choose something and it's gonna be done." The guy thinks a little bit, and then he said, "Well, I want to be smart." And then the spirit says, "Great. In 1 second, you will be smarter." And a second later, the guy thinks, "I should have taken the money." What do you hear from this joke? Do you think that was a yeah, the joke points to the fact that he became smarter? Then we can argue between being smarter and wiser. Wise and smart is not the same thing, right? So I let you with this when to think about it, what you would have chosen in this situation, and what is the difference between being smart? I guess being smarter is to take the money, but what about being wiser? And a definition of, I think you all know what would be to be wiser. Is there someone who would like to say what the wise choice would it have been?
A smart person knows that a tomato is a fruit.
The what? Say again?